Hey, good morning, afternoon, welcome. So looking forward to this call today. I'm going to be jumping on with Jeffrey Slater. So Jeffrey Slater is an international speaker, best-selling author. He's been running events and trainings for 12, 13 years and spoken all around the world. He's known as a disruptor, and let's see if we can get him on the line. Technology, adding. Hopefully this is working. Come on. Come on, technology.
We did
Oh,
it.
yes, we did it. Success. Hey, Jeff, we're on Facebook.
We are on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Hi, Sam.
Hey, how you going?
Yeah, good. I'm excited to be joining you. Thanks for having me on, and
Such
excited
a
that it
pleasure.
worked.
Such a pleasure, yeah. Uh, um, it's one of the gifts of technology we get to share with so many people, and you can be anywhere and checking this out. Um, so I was starting a little bit of an intro before you jumped in. I'm like, how do I even describe who is Jeffrey Slater?
I'm still figuring that out. It's a journey. It's an exploration, and I can tell you what I'm committed to. But
Yeah.
I think it's just time we jump into our humanity and the original premise of what it is to be human, and from that place, we're able to express our greatest gifts that are connected to our journeys, whatever that destiny is, and the unfoldment of that journey. So, I'm here
Mm.
to support others in doing that, and also in the journey with it for myself. So let's see what let's jump in and see what we can do to support people.
Yeah, sure thing. Um, so you and I have worked together for quite a long time. I was trying to figure out how long ago it was, and I think it was in sometime in 2011. And I honestly, I've seen you go through so many evolutions in that time in yourself. Um, and I suppose the question I have for you is, what have you been up to the past few years? I know you like it's been 2 years since we ran a Free Humanity, like a public event, and like, what happened? Where'd you go? What
I
what
took
have you
some
been up
I took
to?
some I took some time off to after speaking all over the world and in 13 countries. There were a lot of tours with big
Mm,
stages and then smaller stages as well, and it was beautiful, but I also found it quite exhausting.
mm,
And sometimes working with a lot of people can be a distraction from working on myself. And
mm,
so I found myself needing to integrate the work I've been sharing with myself. So I took some time to do that, and and found that there's more continuous work to be done. So took some time in solitude, had a really great time with some incredible friends, uh, traveled a bit, and also I think the saying I learned to cook macaroni and cheese. That was pretty exciting. Did that, and then managed to managed to read a couple good books. Managed to go and I think I often also work with some of my higher end clients as well
mm,
on their businesses and what they were doing, and some of their projects are quite impactful in the world. So I got to quietly work with those, and that was really fun.
mm. And how often do you think leaders get caught up in the work they're doing for the world that they miss the work for themselves?
I know I sometimes the work they're doing for the world is the work they're doing for themselves,
Mm,
unless it gets unbalanced. So I know for myself that I feel it got a little bit unbalanced, so I pulled back a bit to go continue make sure I'm working on myself. I mean, I want to continually share these things, but also do my best to integrate this information. And I'm not perfect. I'm doing the best I can with the choices that I have. Uh, I think that some of our greatest work for ourselves is the work we do actually in the world, but we have to make sure we're not working on the world, working with the world.
mm. Cool. Can you share a bit more about that? Because that felt pretty big.
Yeah, I often I know for myself there's times that I see others where there's like them disassociated from the world and they're working on it like it's some kind of project outside of themselves when really it's a part of themselves.
Mm.
And I know that I've been meditating for since I've been 19, so over 10 years or whatever it's been. And I have no idea. So essentially what I've discovered was that sometimes my meditations themselves were about disassociating and trying to see the oneness of it all when not actually dredging into the emotional, the treasures of my emotions, and a way of avoiding it, using spirituality as a way to bypass my own emotions internally, which was there to be when I was willing to go, instead of be expanded, to go put my feet into the ground, both feet in the ground.
Mm.
I was able to unearth some of the emotional traumas, emotional challenges I was having within myself, and by doing that, it allowed me to bring forth what I'm here to do even more impactfully. So instead of using spirituality as a way to bypass the emotions, and it was a way it actually became I guess the term spirituality I found got a little bit convoluted, and I wanted to go reach into myself, into what it is to be human, instead of a spiritual being having a human experience, a human being having a spiritual experience and enjoying my life. And that's, I think, what's next potentially for many of us out there, is to enjoy this human experience as much as possible and not to avoid it. And avoiding it can be used, and there's a place for meditation, there's a place for all the spiritual work, but a lot of spiritual work out there, it can be a way of avoiding the human experience. And I know that I've done that myself, and many of my clients have as well. And I'd like to bring us back into our feet into the ground and in our experience of ourselves, and just start enjoying life again, bringing back our gifts, our outer gifts.
Mm. Yeah. And it's actually really, like, as a friend, it's really awesome to see the way, like, I saw you speak recently, and there's such a light inside you at the moment, and to bring that back out in what you're doing, it's so good to see how that time with yourself, with being human, has rejuvenated everything you're doing. It's like, I know you talked about coming full circle, like coming back to the original premise, but it's like you found that somewhere. I don't
Yeah, I
know,
had to
inside
go.
yourself.
No,
Yeah.
thank you for noticing. I think we've all been on a journey, and many of the audience members and you yourself and many of the people I've worked with along the way, have been an integral part of that exploration and integrating those parts of myself. So I'm grateful for everyone, and I'm grateful for everyone I've ever come in contact with. Especially the hardest times have been very challenging as well, to discover that. So I think sometimes we need to swing the pendulum really far over to discover the other side, and we come back into balance, whatever that is. And it's still balancing continuously. But what an opportunity we all have right now to discover what it is for us to be human here on this earth, enjoying our life. And everyone has a different pattern to express. And for me, I'm just expressing my pattern right now. It's no better or worse than anyone else's. But let us all come together right now and do what we're here to do, whatever that is. And only the person listening to us knows what that is. But maybe it's time.
Mm. Um, and thinking back over, like, the places your journey and your pattern has taken you, that quest of following who you are, like, what are some of the most, impactful places or profound lessons, that you found in your following that path?
Hmm. I think the most profound lessons are the smallest lessons. It's the smallest lessons that make the biggest adjustments in my life. So the smallest lessons, like sometimes I like to just I like to, instead of working like sometimes I like to work. I don't like to work in offices. I like to work in and I like to go out into this field. I live on some land, and so sometimes I'll go out in the field and I'll set up this little desk in the middle of the field. There's like acres and acres, and I just put up my laptop on my chair and just work in the sun, and I just really enjoy it. So it's been a profound lesson for me as to how to enjoy the little things in life again. And so for me, for everyone listening here, how could you make the I guess you could say, quote, the mundane or the normal, more experiential, more enjoyable? I know for myself that sitting in that field doing my so-called work is not work. Or sometimes when I work with my executive clients, it might look like taking a walk in the forest and having a conversation. I know Mark Zuckerberg found on Facebook, when he interviews somebody, he'll take him for a walk in the redwoods and he'll have a
Mm.
conversation. And I found that some of my best conversations, my most stimulating conversations, happen outside of the norm and the unconventional experiences. And I would also say that some of my biggest lessons have come from my clients as well, where we're talking about where their companies are going and what kind of impact they want to make in the world. And and their leadership, and how they're realizing that when they have a deeper connection to themselves and more empathy to themselves, it has a correlation to their ability to lead and to impact people. And so I found that the deepest lessons have come from self-awareness as well.
And you've spent a lot of time in those years on stages, so leading and training and working with groups of people. How do you think people, and I don't know if this is the right question, but how are people changing in the decade or more that you've been working with groups of people? What changes are you seeing?
I think they're coming to terms with the fact that they haven't changed. And that's very frustrating. I know for myself that sometimes I think I'm changing, but I'm not. When we are in constant flux, we're in constant change. The only thing that's constant and consistent is change, and I think nature is always changing. Things are always changing around us, but human beings have become are sometimes pretty stagnant in their in identity coherence. Maintaining identity coherence is the most important thing for a human being, and human beings will protect it with our life. And I feel like for myself, sometimes I will protect the identity with my life. I know that many of my clients and the people in the audiences will protect their identity of being separate. They'll protect their identity of that they're of that they're not good enough, or protect their identity that they have to suffer or struggle so much in life, and they will make sure they maintain that. But now they've had enough of it. I think a lot of us have had enough of this stagnation in our life. It's time to become more fluid. It's time to become more to source our information from love versus fear, and that new things are possible right now in this moment. And this is what's changing. But first we have to admit that we haven't changed in a long time. Is that we're literally wrapped up in cultural programming, and it's a cult that we didn't even sign up for, that tells us what to think, what to eat, how to believe, what to believe, what's possible. Fuck all that.
So, fuck all that. What do we do next?
That was a swear word. That was a swear word. That was
yeah,
intense.
I had to repeat it just for emphasis. So
Thank
it was
you.
awesome.
I appreciate that.
So what do we do then? What's new?
What's new is this for each one of us to make our own choice on what's new. I don't know. I don't know what's new for everyone else. I just know what's new for me, and what's new for me is to remind everyone else that they have the answers for themselves.
Okay. So
and that they can choose how to express that in their life, and remove the distractions, and discover what that is for them. My job is to ask the questions.
You're fucking awesome at good questions.
Thank you.
So, what question would you ask you right now?
That's a good question. That is a good question.
It is.
My question to myself would be, what's beyond the question?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer to that is just enjoying my life. And through that enjoyment right now, the next thing I need to say happens, and the next moment happens, the next moment happens. And but enjoyment doesn't just mean being happy all the time. It means actually to experience the frustration, to experience the anger, to experience the beauty, to experience the love, to experience fulfillment, all of it, all at once, and to not run away from it, but to drudge it up and to feel it, and actually feeling. It's our feelings that actually connect us to this moment right now. It's not about ascension. It's about putting your feet into the ground and experiencing life. In fact, there's a great book. Jeff Brown talks about this, Grounded Spirituality, and it's wonderful. And it's a great reminder of about the gift of being human.
And what's the hardest thing for you to experience?
Loss. Loss of loved ones. Because I used to think that because I like care about things, that it was like weakness, but it's my biggest strength. And when I love really hard. So, but then I love so much, I sometimes maybe I'll get attached or things like that. But then I know that's actually love that drove that in the first place. So I have to, if a loved one passes away or something like that happens, it's just it really hurts.
Yeah. It's one of those pains that we want to have loved enough to feel it when
Yeah,
it ends. Yeah.
and I'm so grateful for it because it's like I go through this life, when I'm 100 something years old or whatever, I'll be like, well, did I love? And the answer is, yeah. And did I love hard? Did I go hard on that? I did. I really did because it's like when you lose, when those end or those complete, it's just like a excavation of every frustration, and anger just gets dredged up, and it's
Mm.
amazing. But man, it's tough.
Mm. Yeah, it is. Um, so what's next on the horizon for you? Oosh, I keep pulling that over.
It's all right. What's next on the horizon
Mm.
is it's like a horizon line, that I like the horizon because the horizon is light and dark.
Mm.
And it's and so for me, the what's next on the horizon line is it's to love the parts of me I love the least and include those parts of me. And instead of avoiding them, enjoying them. And instead of repressing them, uh, diving into them. And through that experience I get to experience the gift of being human, and then whatever I'm here to do next will unfold. So for me, it's to support others by in being themselves, by doing my best to be myself, whatever that is, um, and be open to what it unfolds, and it's to also support others in what they're here to do. So I guess my mission is to support others in their missions. My the greatest way I can do my greatest impact I can have is to bring unconventional leaders together, um, supporting them in their projects to maybe transform water systems, to bring new foods to the world, to
Mm.
to invent new technologies, to decentralize systems, things like that. I love putting incredible people together that are unconventional in their thinking.
Yep. It's something you've always had a gift for. It's definitely that world bridging, and I know, um, as I said, I saw you speaking at an event recently, but I've also got the Awaken event coming up next week, which is the one about the Amazon. And I know the
Yes,
Amazon, you've spent time in the jungles, and it's dear to your heart, as the way the people and the animals and the plants are all suffering over there. So I was just wondering if you want to share a little bit about those experiences.
of course. First off, thank you for putting an event on regarding the Amazon. I think it's much needed at this time, and I know that you have some great people there speaking about the Amazon and and what's happening there, like Kelly and things of that nature. And it's much needed right now because people, the Amazon's so special. It is a direct connection to our humanity and our symbiotic relationship with everything around us. And we've only discovered a small percentage of plants that are actually there for us to support us in healing a lot of the so-called diseases right now. And the Amazon contains a lot of these keys to what's next for us as human beings, and be able to sustain ourselves in the generations to come. And for not just for our generation, but for generations to come, it's very important. So events
Mm.
like yours are important to discuss the gifts of the Amazon, so people can realize their symbiotic relationship with it, and they come home to themselves. And I do encourage people to spend time in the Amazon. It's a very special, special place, and especially with the cultures there as well. And so that when's that event anyway? It's like it's
It's on
next
the
in two
next
weeks.
Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday,
Yeah,
1 week. So yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Well, I hopefully I want to talk there, so I want to bring me in. I want to talk for an hour about something. I just love talking about the Amazon and its gifts there, and supporting these plants
Mm.
and our relationship to it, and tied into also for impact and business as well, and how important it is
Yep.
for leaders right now to actually work with these particular pathogens at times, if it makes sense for them to develop more empathy themselves. And it doesn't necessarily have to be they don't have to work with entheogens. It's just there's lessons to be learned whether you work with entheogens or not about
Mm.
self-awareness. I think,
Mm.
and I'll probably yeah, it'd be fun to talk about
Mm. I think it's really needed in these times as well to 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 look at those questions, and beyond the Amazon, to look at how does, what, as you said, what we learn from the Amazon, how does that impact our leadership and what we create and how we be here. So it's not just a separation of them and us, but it's actually how do we see ourselves as part of nature and part of the earth and the land, wherever we are in the world. So I was really happy to be bringing that one too. The next question I've got is I'm also really happy that we're co-creating. Well, I'm helping you bring your prosperity event out, and that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, Sam. I am.
Because that one's
I just that one's in 2 weeks. That'll be really fun. It's prosperity. You know, it's it's really about supporting people in closing the gap between their vision of what they want in life and actually having that, and bringing that gap together. So, I really am grateful that you're like, hey Jeff, would you have come speak? I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. Let's do a whole day immersion. You know, usually
yeah.
like it's you can only transfer so much information and in an hour. And so I wanted to come out and give people an opportunity to come together for a whole day. And of course, it'd be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what you bring, and it's interesting because like every time we write, what are you going to cover? I know that your sharing and your transmission on the day always has so many surprises there because you're so intuitively connected to the moment. You unfold the medicine that's needed there for that room, that space, and that it's never the same. Like you've never run the same talk the same way because of that connection to the people and connection to what's needed. So
Yeah, it's I like to see what happens because I'm always surprised too. But that's what makes it so fun, you know, and that's why I'm super excited to see what unfolds there because I'm on my own exploration too. Of course, there's intentions, there's structure that has to be conveyed, but inside of that container, there's the space for magic to happen and things to happen, and people have aha and insights that impact their businesses and their life and their overall expression in the world. And
yeah.
that's where magic happens, and I'm just grateful that you're willing to host, to put together space, bring together people. I just can't wait to just come talk and
I'm
share and
super
help
excited.
people
Yeah.
live their lives in a more impactful way for themselves.
Yep. And I was kind of laughing too because we called it prosperity, and we actually ran an event, Prosperity Experience, 5 years ago.
I know. I was
Five
like,
years ago,
what?
I was like,
Five?
what are we doing?
What are we doing? And you know what? It's perfect because it's just such an easy name. Because prosperity is not just about money. It's about like living your most remarkable life possible. And I love that name. And five years later, I still like the name prosperity. If people look up the term prosperity, it's such an incredible definition versus just
Yeah.
success.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. It still feels like it has a lot of warmth and energy and aliveness, like to prosper. Like abundance is
Yeah.
starting to feel a bit tapped as an idea and what that means. But I think there's really something material and grounded inside prosperity as well as quite warmth. But I just actually loved the way the cycle, like that process of leadership of coming back to the old things, but in a new way, like bringing a new self back through old conversations. Like there's always more to learn for leaders. That's something.
I do find there's continuous more to learn. In fact, we're almost like coming full circle and reintegrating a lot reintegrating our that it's okay to make money do what we love. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to play and to laugh and not be so serious. And it's also okay to want to want to like get things done, make things happen, and also that there's measurable things that need to happen to do that. There's actual action items that need to be taken. Discuss those action items. Well, it's not about avoiding the human experience. It's about enjoying the human experience. Oh, that was a quote. It's not about avoiding it. It's about enjoying it. Absolutely. That was surprising. I like that. I'll
Write
end
that
on
shit
that.
down.
Write that down. Write that down. It's not about it's not about avoiding the human experience. It's about enjoying it. And through enjoying it, we can have prosperity. We can have a life we love. We can impact the people we want to impact. We can laugh. We can dance. We can play. Like that's what life's about.
Sure is. Such a gift. Thanks for jumping on. It's been so much fun, and I am so looking forward to seeing more of what you come out and share. Follow Jeff. What's your you have a book
Yeah.
people can jump on and download or?
Yeah,
follow
if
you
people
where?
want to,
Yeah.
I have a book they can go get. Yeah, I have a they can go get a book. It's a whole audio book. It's called Success 2.0. They can go to success the number 2 book.com. It's about redefining success. Success2book.com, and they can follow me, here. And also, thank you, Sam, for for this interview. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for putting the event on for the Amazon and bringing people together. It's amazing. So much gratitude to you, Sam.
Thanks, Jeff. Talk soon.
Later,
Bye.
bye.